Hello, everybody. Welcome to Thursday, February 8th. Yesterday was kind of a rough day for me, but Todd crushed it, so hopefully you followed him. We are going to do so much better today. I got a good vibe about today. All right, first, we are going to go to the NBA like usual, and we're going to go with Orlando 10.5-point favorites over San Antonio. San Antonio's on a back-to-back. They just lost last night. Orlando already won by double digits against them earlier in the season, so I like their chances tonight. Next up, we got Dallas 3.5-point favorites at the Knicks. So the Knicks have some injury problems. They have no OG. They have no Julius Randle. Jalen Brunson sprained his ankle, twisted his ankle injury the other day, and he's questionable, might play, might not. I have a feeling they're going to give him a rest tonight. So I think that 3.5 points are looking good for Dallas. They are fully healthy. Luka and Kyrie are both going to play, so I like their chances as well. Next up is Chicago 5.5 points at Memphis. They whipped them 29 points 2 weeks ago. So Chicago is definitely the better team, and Memphis is not the better team. Speaking of the NBA, today is the trade deadline. I am talking to you right now about 2 hours away from the trade deadline. So there's been a few trades, and that's something to keep an eye on, not just because of big player movements, but you're going to look at some teams that might be shorthanded. Like already we've had Buddy Hield being traded, some players on the Pistons. So not necessarily the impact on the game, but they are going to be shorthanded tonight. So like I said, Buddy Hield not playing for the Pacers tonight against the Warriors. So keep an eye on that as the deadline goes, and make sure that the team that you're going to bet on is going to have a full roster, because you don't want to bet on a team with 7 guys. All right, let's throw it over to Todd, who's got the hot hand.
Yo, Todd here. Okay. We are 7 out of 8 in the last 3 days. We're on a winning streak. We're at 2 out of 2 yesterday night, the night before 3-0. We are on a winning streak. You got to play winning streaks. Now, tonight, Florida, hockey. The Panthers minus 260 parlayed with Charleston. Winning in college basketball, minus 21.5 by 3. Minus 18.5 two-team parlay. Let's keep this winning streak going. This is Todd. This is Gamblers Hub. Joel's going to be right back. And Friday comes out our Super Bowl special. The Super Bowl's this Sunday. Let's make it happen.
All right, thank you, Todd. I love the hockey pick, and I'm going to get myself some hockey picks, which has the same one. I also like Florida. They're just better in all aspects of the game than the Washington Capitals. Plus, they're at home, and they got a nice little money line situation going. So I'm going to go with them as well. Another 2 ones that I like are Vancouver plus 1.5 against Boston, and they're very evenly matched up. Vancouver plays well on the road. Boston plays good at home. They have I think there's 2-point difference between the two. So getting that point, that one goal is a very big deal in hockey. Unless you get that empty netter at the end, you've got Vancouver looking like they can cover that one. Overtime is just always the best situation when you got that plus 1.5, because no matter how it finishes, you're good to go. And speaking of plus 1.5, Colorado is actually an underdog tonight at Carolina. I mean, Colorado, I think, is probably the best team in hockey, at least up there. So the fact that they're a dog makes me think that you can either go take the safe bet at plus 1.5 with minus 200 or whatever, or you can go money line and get some positive returns on it. Either one's good. I'm gonna probably place a Colorado money line bet solo and then add the 1.5 points to any sort of parlays. Maybe I'll do Vancouver 1.5. Colorado 1.5 and Florida money line as a 3-team parlay, and probably get about 3-1 odds. Let's pop over to college basketball. First one I like is Chattanooga minus 15.5 against VMI. And VMI is super not good. They are 4-19, and they played earlier this year. And just guess how many points Chattanooga won by. Not 10, not 20, not 30, not even 40. They won by 48 points earlier this year, and they're only 15.5-point favorites. So gotta like Chattanooga in that one. Next up, Green Bay is plus 2.5 against Robert Morris. They won by 17 points earlier this year against them, and they're in first place in the conference, and they're getting points. Yes, please. Take that money line if you want to, or just take the points for the safe play. Alrighty, we got Vermont minus 8.5. That line has shifted since I started writing this down. I think it was at 12 the last time I looked. So everyone's betting on Vermont against NJIT. It's first versus last in the conference and a 21-point win earlier in the season for Vermont. So you can see why people are picking them. All right, next up is Colorado, is my Buffaloes. 14.5 points is a lot for a team that's not that great. They're very good, but Arizona State's not good. But the thing to look at is that Colorado is undefeated and absolutely destroying teams in Boulder. It's the altitude factor. Away from Boulder, they're, average. But in Boulder, they are dominant. They're winning by about 20 points per game at home in Boulder this year. So 14.5 points seems like very, very doable. That one you might want to tease down just to play it safe, but I don't think they're going to lose. It's just a matter of whether they can really stick it to Arizona and their sea level. All right, next up is a random one. Tarleton State, plus 3.5 points against Utah Valley. They have, they're 7 games ahead of them in the standings and just significantly better. So that's another one that you might want to throw in there. Maybe not, just because of the unknown factor. And last but not least, we have Portland State plus 9.5 against Weber State. They have the exact same records, 14-9, 5-5 in the conference, but Portland State beat them earlier in the season. So as long as they don't lose by double digits, they're safe, and you're safe. So pick and choose what you want. I would love to see one of your parlay tickets below. Just let us know which ones you liked, and we can get some sort of dialogue going. All right, guys, see you tomorrow for our Super Bowl special that Todd and I will talk about who we like in the Chiefs versus the 49ers. Spoiler alert, I like the 49ers. But we'll go into more depth of, the player props and all the other cool little side bets that we can do on the Super Bowl. And it's the biggest day in betting, so get ready. See you tomorrow.